Back again with another video. I first want to give a shout out to my girl in Florida, Alon, my baby girl. You're beautiful, always have been, always will be. All right, back to business. I love you, baby girl. This is part 2 to the video of not bringing things to your home. It took a couple of days for me to get back with you on it. I went, spoke to the client, the father and the daughter, and doing my talking to her and to him, she had no interest in the occult. I could tell by her, demeanor and what she was saying about it. She was just interested in, occult things, statues and stuff. So they said the problem it was having, she had her stuff on a big mantle in her bedroom. It was on like 10 pieces. And she would hear soft talking and singing. Couldn't make it out, what the words were, but when that started happening, they took all the items and brought them into the attic. And when they did that, she didn't hear anything more, so they brought me into the attic. And as soon as we walked in, something that I zeroed in on, as soon as I could get in there and adjust my eyes and turn the lights on, was one of the items she had is what we call here in New Orleans voodoo. And if you're from here in New Orleans and stuff, you know the term spiritual bottle or zombie bottle. And they have them here in New Orleans voodoo and Haitian voodoo. But there was something wrong with this bottle. It didn't appear New Orleans voodoo because, as you know, here in New Orleans that we decorate the bottle with decorative glass, colored glass, the deep cobalt blue glass. We break them and attach them to the bottle with sequins and rubies and things like that. And I'm not going to tell you the process. This was passed on to me by my grandfather in my trainings. You contact the mostly in my family a Gede and make a deal to catch a moi, spirit of the dead, and place them inside the bottle. And as my grandfather told me that in our family, it was only used for protection. That's all I needed to know. I didn't need to know no more. But being a young man, I asked him, I said, if a spirit can transverse physical plane and spiritual plane, how does glass hold them? And he stopped, looked up at me and said, boy, glass to a spirit is what a jail cell is to us. Cool, that's all I needed to know. But this didn't appear what we make here in New Orleans voodoo. It was pottery on the outside with beautiful hand-drawn symbols. It wasn't voodoo. I picked it up. It felt right, the weight that it's supposed to be. The way I was taught, as when it's said and done, the bottle should weigh anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds. So that was about right. I put that to the side, started checking the other stuff. The other stuff, the voodoo stuff she had, the antiques, and other things that she bought from voodoo shops and botanicas. There was nice pieces of art, but I could tell they was made for art, and that was it. She had 2 pieces that I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It was a cult, and she said that she bought both the pieces from a cult store in Chicago. And I started to look at them, but on the bottom one, I ran my hand across the bottom and I felt something sticky. So I turned it over, and when you buy things from some places, they have the name of the artist, something, they pulled it off. Well, that was a dead giveaway right there. That was art. The second one, I did the same thing, looked at it, couldn't really figure out what it was, and ran my hand along the bottom, looking at the bottom this time, and off to the corner, you could see where it had been shaved. The wood had been shaved a little bit. Would appear to me that the artist that made it, handmade it, stencils his initials into it, and they shaved it off. So I wasn't really concerned about that. What I was worried about was that damn bottle. I explained to the parent, to the father, and to the daughter what the zombie bottle in New Orleans is, and what it is, and how I was taught only to do it for protection. There's other reasons it could be used for. And the father said, well, do you think we need to take this outside and bust it? And I told him that might not be a good idea. If it was a zombie bottle and it was for protection, the time it may have come in the deal to release it, but not knowing what this was, it could have been opening the damn Pandora's box. So I asked if she had any history on any of this, and she said she did, because I do know at high-end antique stores, when they get it in auction or it's donated to them, they get history as far as they can get on the object, so customers ask about that. So she went and get her a folder of receipts, and this item was bought in Boston at an antique store, at a nice price to it. And the history of it was a professor from Princeton University, an archaeologist, had it in his collection. All right, that threw a red flag up. He passed away. He donated the majority of his collection back to Princeton, and the rest of the family put up to auction for antique dealers. So, not knowing what to do, I made a couple of phone calls and got a hold of a professor at Tulane University of South American Art and History. I brought the object to the university, got with the professor. She had two, I guess, were grad students in her office. And as soon as I walked in, they all perked their head up, and she must have filled them in of what I was doing and coming, and they all agreed that is Mesoamerican. I mean, it was battering back Inca, Mayan, Aztec. They was battering stuff back and forth, so that cleared me knowing that wasn't voodoo. They gave me a rundown of what the spirit bottles, as they knew of it in South America, what it was. It could be the same thing, for protection or damage. And while we was in there discussing this, one of the I guess grad students took a small piece of the porcelain that was at the bottom, went to a microscope, put it up on a microscope, and he lifted his head up and said, this glue has been boiled. Well, nobody boils glue anymore. That ended, what, to make glue, what, 100 and some odd years ago here in the South, where you had to get sap from trees and boil it to make glue. So I was sure it was kind of old. So they said if it would be all right, they'd have to keep it for a while to study it. So that was fine. Went back to the client, sat down with him, told him what was going on. So what I did, I brought some stuff. I cleansed the objects that she had, and cleansed her bedroom. And for my Australian Bokor subscriber, I read your comment, and thank you, because I would have had to went back. I almost forgot there to check the book collection, and I didn't see any books of the occult, Goetia, or Aleister Crowley, or anything like that. I almost forgot about it, and thank you for putting your comment, because I had to turn around and go back and do that, but there was none of that. Told him I didn't know if that was it. After I cleansed everything, I told her to put once a day the 9 pieces, one piece at a time, back on her mantle, and see if any activity would start. That way, if it started again, well, I didn't have the right thing, had to go back. So she said she'd do that. I'll know in a couple more days. I told her to do that, you know, once a day for 9 days, until she had all the rest of the objects back on her mantelpiece, or whatever she was calling it at the time. So I think the problem has been taken care of. I'll have to make part 3 on this as soon as I get back, probably with Tulane. Let me know. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I hope they don't open it up unless they know what they're doing with the shit. So I'll get back with y'all again on that as soon as I find out the answers to it. I don't think there's really an answer. I mean, the answer is if the problem stopped for the client, and the things that she was hearing, the whispering and the singing. So sorry it took so long to get back, you know, to you. And as always, like, share, and subscribe.